Hello and welcome to the Grow CFO show. Today I've got Grow CFO founder Dan Wells with me. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
I'm very well, Dan. Dan, I thought it was very appropriate, since this is right at the beginning of the new year, to be talking about our Future CFO program, because it's an ideal time for people who might have been thinking about their objectives this year and where they want to go career-wise to perhaps be thinking about signing up for that program.
Absolutely, Kevin. I think it's a great time for people to sign up for the program. And there's lots of opportunity in there to think about what your development areas are and to start planning some actions and objectives against them. So yes, great timing.
So, Dan, remind me, if you look at the program, the 9 modules, aren't there?
There are, Kevin. Yes, that's right. Yeah, there's 9 different modules, and there's sort of 3 elements to the course to take you through those 9 modules.
Yeah. So what happens right at the beginning, Dan? What the first 3 modules, I think, are all about working out where you are now and what the gap is in your skill set to get to the CFO role.
Yeah, that's right. So the whole sort of first layer really is to help people to identify their skills gaps and then start to create tailored development plans off the back of them. So we've been working very closely with the CFO community over the past 18 months and to identify what all of the core competencies are that people need to develop into a successful CFO. And what we've done is we've created lots of different modules to address each of those. I mean, I think really the starting point for most people is to understand what those different competencies are and where they currently rank against each one.
So, Dan, can you remember off the top of your head what those 10 competencies are?
Oh, you're testing me now, Kevin. So taking them in order. So the first one is leadership. Then the next one is core qualities. Then we have technical strength, technology advocate, we have strategic business partnering, we have operational driver, we have financial control, and we have transactions, and we have financial planning and analysis. So plenty there.
There's some big meaty topics there. No wonder when we look at module 3 of the training course and we look at each of those skills in turn, there's just so much material there. Yeah. So Dan, beyond that, those first 3 modules, where would somebody go next? The next section really about as much about technical skill, is it?
It is. So once people have got an idea of where they rank against each competency area, they'll then start working through the different modules to fast track their development against each of them. Following that, they'll then start looking at other areas such as building their personal brand, growing their network, and really starting to think more about how they can sort of make a bigger impact at board level.
So it's taking you from being technically competent to somebody who's effectively board ready.
That's right, and we've got plenty of lessons there to help people. What we've done, Kevin, is we've done lots of surveys within the community over the past 18 months to understand exactly what the biggest challenges are that everybody has within each of those different areas. And then in return, we've been creating lessons against each of them to help people address those.
Yeah. So the last set of 3 lessons, Dan, that's effectively getting the job and getting settled into that job.
It is. So lesson 7 is around winning the dream job. Now, for some people, that will be an internal promotion within their existing company. And for others, that will be looking into the wider marketplace to get a new role. Then we look at helping people to take over the finance function. So, inheriting a finance function and building a blueprint for their own team. And then finally, which is a topic I know you're very strong at, Kevin, is around creating their identity in their first 100 days by having a really strong 100-day plan.
Absolutely. So it's 9 modules, 9 steps, but that training course that's sitting in Grow CFO, Dan, that's CPD accredited, isn't it? 40 hours of CPD if you go through each of the 9 modules.
That's right, Kevin. So we've got about 200 lessons in there so far. We add a new lesson every week, and yeah, there's plenty in there. There's already lessons covering each of the different modules and indeed the different 10 competencies we talked about. They're all CPD accredited, so people can get recognition of the hours that they're putting in. And there's a combination of different things in there, Kevin. So there's lots of videos in there, there's narrative, and we're going to be adding in quizzes as well, just to test people's knowledge. There are various different assignments for people to complete, as well as sort of overviews of each section.
So that's great, Dan. So that's all available in Grow CFO in the Learning Centre, and it's all self-paced learning. That feels like a big block of stuff. If I was joining that, Dan, or say well, not me personally, but if I was a budding CFO joining the program, how does Grow CFO kind of help me along through that? I wouldn't really want to be just left alone with 40 hours of CPD.
Sure. So the first starting point, I guess, is to go to our website, which is growcfo.net. Which I know you've been working hard to help advance over the past few months, and sign up for a launch session. So during your launch session, I'll give you a tour and an overview of the program, and one of our experienced CFOs and professional mentors will also join as well. And what we'll do is we'll talk you through how the program works, and we'll show you how you can locate all of the different online lessons, and we'll give you a tour of your CFO readiness toolkit. What we'll do after that is we'll give you a bit of homework to go away and complete that CFO readiness toolkit. And then typically, normally around 1 week later, people come back to us. So every week we do follow-on sessions as part of module 2, which is where we go through people's CFO readiness toolkits with them. And we look at the areas that have come up as potential development areas, and we talk about those areas, help people to create action plans, and point them in the right directions of all the different activities within Grow CFO. So for example, we'll show you all the different online lessons that we've created against that competency area, and we'll also show you where the event recordings are, where we've had, for example, guests come in and share their experience in that area, and indeed a lot of the podcasts that you've recorded, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. So beyond module 2 then, Dan, what happens next? Are there further face-to-face sessions, or Zoom-to-Zoom sessions, I should say?
There are, Kevin. So as well as all the online courses, we have regular workshop sessions to cover each of the different modules, from modules 3 through till 9. And we've done that deliberately because we wanted to respond to the feedback that we've had from people that actually everybody kind of has their own pace that they want to work through the program. Now, this could be due to the requirements that people have within their career. You know, for example, something might come up which needs them to suddenly become an expert in a certain area, or they might get an opportunity to apply for a role or get involved in something which they've never done before. So anyone can sign up for any module workshop at any time. You can do them in any order as well, so you don't need to necessarily do them from 3 through to 9. So you know, there's complete flexibility in there now, and indeed if you suddenly find you're on a really big project, or you're doing a transaction that consumes a couple of months of your time, then if you do need to take a little gap, then you've got full flexibility to do that.
Yeah, because originally, Dan, we started this off with people joining a cohort and moving through the program as in that cohort. That's not happening anymore, is it?
No, it's not, Kevin. So what we've decided is we still want to keep the peer group element of the program. And people have told us that there's 2 things that are really helpful to them from a peer group perspective. Firstly, they find it really helpful to meet new people within these sessions who are at a similar stage to them. So, in every session, there'll be normally around about 5 to 10 different people who are at similar journeys to you. who, you know, you can see them all on Zoom, you can interact with them during the session, and then swap numbers to keep in touch as buddies going forward. But also what we've found is that people like to hear one another's situations, and the ideas and the questions that people are asking in those sessions are often quite relevant to everybody else on those calls. So I think, you know, the peer group element is so important. But as you said, Kevin, the one change we've made is we're not forcing people to go through it at a set pace with exactly the same people each time. We're kind of giving you more flexibility to join each session as it suits you.
So Dan, there's a workshop then associated with every module as we go through. Who are you bringing in to give the expertise in each module? It's not just you, is it?
No, it's not, Kevin. What I've done is I've built a team in Grow CFO of people that have all kind of been there and done it before. So experienced finance leaders who have made that journey through to CFO in the past. So we've got those people who, you know, some of them are professional mentors, some of them are existing CFOs or nowadays portfolio CFOs. We also feature other guests and partners as well to bridge any gaps that the finance leader community may have. So what we do is between us all, we rotate who hosts those sessions depending on our areas of expertise. And we run each session multiple times through the year so that people can register for whichever date is most helpful for them.
So I know module 4 and 5, we do a single workshop for those two together, and we divide in two. That's module 4 is all about personal branding. Module 5 is all about building a network. So Andrew Waters does the branding piece. I do the networking and LinkedIn piece to do that. So that's an example of how that works. But who else are we including, Dan?
So Catherine Clark's doing some really interesting sessions on leadership and also around soft skills. Catherine also helps with modules 1 and 2 as well, which are sort of really, really important part of the course. We've got Peter Walsh coming in to help with commercial awareness. For those of you who are not aware, Peter's already done a really interesting video and written some narrative for the online course in this area. Ian Simpkin, who's a professional mentor, who's also sort of been a CFO for a number of years and is now a portfolio CFO. He's doing some sessions on strategic business partnering and transactions. Stuart Trude, who some of you will know, has been a CFO and indeed CEO for about 30 years now. He's doing a couple of sessions on operational driver and transactions. As you said, Kevin, yourself and Andrew on brand and networking. I'll be hosting a session with Patrick Dunn on engaging with the top table, which is module 6. Stuart's also going to be doing a session for module 8 on taking over the finance function. And then I know you're covering the module 9 session on 100-day planning.
Yep. No coincidence that I'm on another podcast called The Next 100 Days.
Indeed.
Yeah. So that sounds great, Dan. Now, fine, I can come along, I can do all of that self-paced learning, I can sign up for workshops and so on. Is that the full extent of the support that's on offer here? Is any, we've got mentors, are the mentors relevant in this process?
They are, Kevin. I mean, the mentors, as well as getting involved in hosting some of the individual sessions, they're bringing really helpful insights throughout each of the different parts of the program. So the mentors were a key part of it. Now, a lot of people are also asking us about getting professional mentoring along the way. There's only kind of so much that people can learn through group workshops and online lessons. And whilst this is having a big impact, I think it's fair to say that those who are kind of really keen to maximise their chances of getting to CFO as quickly as possible are also engaging in professional mentoring with one of the mentors that we can offer within Grow CFO as well.
Yeah, and I suppose everybody's different as well, Dan. You're getting towards the top of the tree in finance when you're looking for that CFO role, and some folk may well be doing some of the things we'd expect from a CFO already, and having that experienced mentor to help with those, I can see as being exceptionally useful. Yeah. So Dan, I suppose I've got to ask you the $1,000,000 question. How many dollars is it?
For the program?
Well, the program.
Well, so the program, all it requires people to do is to subscribe to Grow CFO Premium.
Right.
So Grow CFO Premium, what that will do is that will give you access to all of the online lessons, and it will mean that you get invitations to each of the different module sessions. So there's two different ways you can pay for Grow CFO Premium. You can either pay for it on an annual basis, which is £299 for the year, so it works out roughly about £25 a month. Or alternatively, you can buy it on a monthly basis, which is £29.99 a year. It's also available in other major currencies as well, if that's people's preference.
Yeah. So clearly that's the basic package, but if that's Grow CFO Premium, that includes everything else that's in Premium as well. So the Monday masterclasses, situation rooms. Well, situation room isn't Premium, that's available for everybody, but audience with all the recordings that we put on the website of some of those past sessions. So that's really great value. Think about it, that £300 in a year, that's less than you'd spend on a cup of coffee a day, isn't it?
It is good value, Kevin, and we priced it to try and make it affordable to everybody at that level who's motivated to make that next step up in their career. And we will be doing plenty of other activities in Grow CFO as well. I won't ruin the surprises now, but there's plenty to come over the next few months. But certainly there's lots there for people.
So mentoring, Dan, that's clearly not included in that price. You're not going to get one-to-one mentoring there. So if somebody wanted some mentoring, what would that be on a cost basis?
Well, it really depends, Kevin. I mean, we price it based on the level of frequency, the length of each sessions, and exactly what people need. So, it is on a sort of one-to-one basis, and what we will do is we'll work out exactly what your situation is and requirements, and then we'll come up with something that fits the budget that you have available.
Okay. So that sounds really interesting. A few changes there from the way the program's been run in the past, but it sounds like a real opportunity. If you're thinking through your objectives this year, going for that top job is one of the things that's really on your immediate horizon at the moment. It sounds like the program is a great place to go and get that extra knowledge.
The feedback's been really positive, Kevin. I think the one thing we've learned from the past 12 months of doing this is just trying to work out how to fit it in amongst the finance leaders' busy schedules. As you'll be aware, finance leaders are some of the busiest people out there. That the job is so demanding, and there's just constant pressure to get things done. So what we've tried to do is create that flexibility. I guess the other thing that we're doing, which we haven't mentioned yet, is every Wednesday morning at 9:30, we are posting a short video, normally around about 2 or 3 minutes in length, into LinkedIn as part of a little sort of Future CFOs program teaser session. The idea is it gives people a few different insights from some of our experts. So we feature different people each week. They're all designed to cover the topics which finance leaders have told us are the most important parts in the program. And we wanted to just do that so that people can get a regular weekly feed of insightful information, which is only going to take them a couple of minutes to consume. But which means that people constantly feel like they're part of the program and they're constantly learning, no matter how busy they are. And so, if anyone's keen to get that, they should send me a message. We have a little sort of WhatsApp group which I can share the details with, and that's certainly been really well received.
Yeah, because we've got quite a few people in that WhatsApp group that get to know as soon as you put that post out, and can go in straight away and actually watch that video, which is a really great way of just giving you a bite-sized piece of learning. I think that's the great thing about the way that we've remodeled the program, Dan, is that we're really recognizing now that people are busy. Now, I think we were seeing too many people dropping out, not for the reason that they didn't want to do this, but it was, it's a month gone on, I've got to be at the workshop for the next module, I haven't had time to do this. The way it's working now, that says if you want to compress this and you want to take 3 modules in a month and then do nothing for 6 months and then pick some more up, well, that's great. You can do it that way.
That's right, Kevin. I think that's right. And I think for me, the key message from Grow CFO to the finance leader community is we are here for you whenever you need us.
Yeah.
And we don't want you to feel overly committed to a program which may not necessarily factor in the or the sort of sudden urgent events that are happening within your day-to-day roles. But if you ever need something urgently, we've got event recordings there, we've got online lessons, we're all very responsive as well. So we're here for you whenever you need us.
Let's face it, well, 40 hours of CPD is a great marketing speech for the training course. When you're the individual and you've actually got to find those 40 hours to do the CPD, that's a different kettle of fish. So any way that we can help people to consume it in a more easy, more streamlined way has to be a benefit.
It is, Kevin, and I know you've been working very hard to upgrade the technology as well. So we should just remind people that we have put in place a new learning management system, which is using some market leading technology to deliver all of the online courses and lessons. And the feedback we've had from this is actually this is much easier to navigate. It gives people sort of more flexibility around the order that they complete the program, and also it allows people to tick off each stage as being complete and view dashboards to see which lessons they have and haven't done.
Yeah, and I think it's worth saying, Dan, that the Grow CFO community has been on a platform called Mighty Networks for the last year. And that we're moving away from Mighty Networks as well to consolidate everything in a single website. So that our aim for the next few months is to have all of the resources together in one place. Now, it's still quite a challenge. There's a lot of things to move, but that's certainly where we want to be as Grow CFO goes during the next 3 to 6 months.
That's right, Kevin, and certainly when people go to growcfo.net now, they'll see a huge amount of change there. And I'd encourage anyone listening to this to have a quick look at growcfo.net now, because there's so much more material there than what you've previously seen. And certainly, again, there's lots of really interesting stuff which I think will help you in your roles.
Dan, that has been a brilliant canter through the Future CFO Programme. That's super. If anybody wants to get in touch with you directly and talk about this, what's the best way to do it?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn every day, Kevin, so people are very welcome to request to connect with me on LinkedIn. Alternatively, you can drop me an email or you can go into the Mighty Networks community or on the website and send me a message.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Kevin.